Hi, this short tutorial will explain to you how to pull up a report in QuickBooks 2013 and modify the header and/or footer to include your first and last name for printouts generated in a computer lab setting. What you're looking at right now is the basic home page for any QuickBooks 2013 file. At the top of the page, in the black area, is the name of the company that I have opened, the Tea Shop at the Lake, which happens to be one of the files you will be working with in the text, as well as the version of QuickBooks we are using. Any of these things in the home page can also be accessed through the drop-down menu bar up above. And for our short demo today, I'm simply going to use the menu drop-down bar. What I'm going to do at this point is go to the reports, and I'm going to pull down to Report Center. This is the report center for QuickBooks, and what I'm going to want to access today is the standard balance sheet, which lists your assets, your liabilities, and your owner's equity for a business as of a particular day. So I'm going to stay in the standard tab of the report center under Company and Financial, and I'm going to scroll down to the balance sheet and net worth section. Here it is. And you can see that there are many different choices of balance sheets. For our purposes, we usually use the standard balance sheet. So for right now, I'm just going to double click. When I do that, it brings up the balance sheet for Tea Shop at the Lake as of today, January 28th, 2014. And it also tells you the time that I'm generating this report, as well as the basis of accounting that we're using. Generally accepted accounting principles require most businesses to use the accrual basis of accounting today rather than the cash basis. If you remember from our accounting basics, accrual basis accounting assumes that you use accounts receivable and accounts payable so that you can pay your expenses later on or receive your money from customers later on, even though you're recognizing it right now. That's different than the cash basis, which requires you to only show cash when you physically pay it out of your business or hand it to someone in the palm of your hand, versus when you physically receive the cash from a customer for payment of goods and/or services. Again, GAAP requires most businesses to use the accrual basis. And also, if your business accepts credit cards, you will automatically be using accrual, because people will be allowed to make that payment at a later date, even though you're recognizing it the minute that the card is swiped. A little bit more information probably than what you bargained for there, but I thought I would address it since it is here on the screen. At this point then, we are going to go up with our cursor to Customize Report. And when we do that, there is a Modify Report Balance Sheet dialog box that comes up. This is where we can set the so-called preferences for how we want our reports to look once we generate them. This is where you set your time period, and usually balance sheets, just as an FYI, are printed as of a specific day. But what we want to be concerned about right now is putting your first and last name in the header or footer. So click on the Header Footer tab, which brings up yet another dialog box. What you need to do at this point is to click an insertion point to the right of the E on Lake so that you can put a / and then your first name followed by your last name. When you are finished with that, everything else will leave as it is, and click the OK button. When you do that, the screen is refreshed and your name now appears behind the company name. This is very valuable to know, and I require this when I teach the course on campus, because we have so many students that are sending to the printer in the computer lab at one time that it's very difficult to identify one printout from the other without the first and last name of the student. So again, that is how you modify the header for your business to reflect your first and last name.